Does a tree falling in the forest make a sound? Because right now I see a whole bunch of falling trees and negative numbers for the latest numbers that came up from our Toronto Real Estate Board for August. And there seems to be nobody reporting on it, even though it's very negative. So what's happening? What does all of this mean for the upcoming fall market or current fall market? Stay tuned to find out. Now, if you're wondering kind of where the direction of the market right now is heading so that you could make a strategic and the proper real estate move for yourself and your family, then you can book a call with me using the link that's right here. It's www.chatwithzen.com. Simply click on the date and a time that works best for you. And then when you see the prompt, fill in your name, email, mobile phone number, and the question you have for me, and then we'll chat then. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Properties TV. My name is Zen, and I run and operate a RE/MAX in the Greater Toronto Area on top of making awesome educational real estate content just like this for you. And if you're enjoying the content we're putting out there and you found it helpful in your real estate journey, whether you're buying your first home, selling your first home or second home or third home, whatever, or buying your first investment property, or just like general curiosity about what's happening in the real estate market so that you know what's going on so that in the future you could make a right move and you kind of appreciate all the content we're putting out there. Make sure we spread the knowledge by smashing the like button and subscribing to the Prime Properties channel. Now, on to kind of the question I posed at the start of the video. If a tree falls, does it make a noise, right? So from my perspective, if a tree is falling, it's definitely making a noise. The question for myself is, do I hear that noise? And yes, I may not hear it, but it's still happening. And this is exactly what's happening with the latest Toronto Real Estate Board numbers that just came out for the month of August, right? Stuff is falling quite rapidly, right? But it most definitely made a sound, but nobody seems to be talking about that sound, right? Why is it not drawing any attention? Where are all the bears, right? So allow me to explain. As you can see with this chart over here, the average price is down 3% from last month in July, and every type of property other than the Toronto condo is down from last month. But this is normal in August. It actually really is, because August is the second slowest month of the year, only after December when Christmas is and everyone's on holidays already, right? So I would say in August, everyone was on vacation, most people. So why did nobody freak out with the latest numbers? Even though if you annualize 3%, it's like 36% down. Two reasons. First, most people are kind of just returning from their vacation right now and didn't really report on it because they're not working, right? You know, saying that facetiously. Second reason, the more serious one, is that inventory didn't actually move, which is a strange phenomenon right now. And you can see over here that the months of inventory, it was basically exactly the same as the previous month. It means that the slowness of July was kind of the same thing as August, which is not normal. I personally thought it would be slower, and historically it is slower in August than it is in July. So that's why I'm saying it's kind of strange. Now, you can see in this chart here, the active listings only grew by 0.8% or so. This means that not much new inventory got built up after July. And in July, we saw a glut of inventory build up. You can see here, new listings are down 10% for last month, and sales kind of kept pace, which is kind of weird comparing, August to July. So when I look at it, I'm like, okay, let's dig a little bit deeper. So I'm using a metric I often don't use, sales to new listing ratio, which is essentially a percentage of how many homes are sold, right? So if it's like 40%, that means 40% of the new listings are sold. If it's 100%, it means that all of the listings are sold. So in July of this year, so the previous month, it was about like 38%. This month, or August, right, it was 45%. It's low, but it's not 38% low, which is very, very low. Like it's almost historically low if you count one outlier in 2017. So it looked like a lot of inventory is coming to the market at the end of July, but in August, we clearly didn't get any of it. Strange, right? Look, don't get me wrong. I still think, and there's still a good chance that we're gonna get a burst of new listings this week in September, but so far, I'm not seeing that much, right? So the last week of August, and I always keep tally of this every single year, and we got about like 16,000 new listings, right? So you can see that over here. I just like took a snapshot of it, which is, again, I talked about it before, high, but it's been 10 days or so in September since I took this number, and it's a short week after Labor Day, right? And most people aren't listing yet, but we only got an additional 700 new listings, right? Normally we get a little bit more than that. So to me, this seems low. And I'm going to keep tracking this number and I'll keep you posted on the data. But so far right now, the data is showing us that we're getting a repeat of what it looks like last year, right? Despite all this anecdotal evidence saying, people are barely hanging on. There's a lot of panic on the street. People have to fire sell things, right? Not seeing that in the numbers at the moment, right? And when I say it's starting to shape up like last year, it's because last year was also where we had no inventory, even though there's a lot of panic, and prices stayed flat because there's no inventory, despite how high the interest rates were. Remember, we got a rate hike for 50 basis in September and October and some more in December. I forgot if it's 50 or 25. It's been so long, so many, right? So it even feels kind of like a buyer's market, but it's not looking like it. Now, let's look at the historic numbers to tell us if what we're seeing right now is normal. You can see over here, the active listings for this year in August is well above the average in historic terms and way above the last 10 years, right? This is what I've been saying for a very, very long time, right? We have a lot of listings that kind of built up from July, but it really, really surprised me that we didn't get any in August, and we still have all those listings in the market right now, given that, we have historically low sales, even though it's kind of the same as July. And while the data is looking like we're getting that repeat of September of last year, where maybe we're not getting that many active listings at the end of each month, we still have more active listings right now than we did last year. So keep that in mind, because we have so much inventory, it's easier to tip the scale so the prices come down, right? Now, speaking of sales, you can see over here, historically low in August this year. We actually got less than last year. Very little difference, but last year we had a 22-year low and we got less than last year this year, which makes this year a 23-year low. Yet, strangely, the month of inventory is still the same. Yeah, it's weird, right? And for the new listings in August, which I'll put over here, we're above the historic average. But given the sales and the active listings I just showed you, I'm personally questioning this data point from Treb right now, because I know Treb that when they mark a relist, it counts twice. So let me explain. If you have an offer, say for like a property that's listed for $999, it's worth $1.5, and they fail to sell on offer presentation day, they could terminate that $999 listing and relist it at $1.5. That itself counts as two listings, even though it's one home, right? And I've seen my fair share of terminations in August, so I'm questioning this above average new listing metric in our current market right now, because that's the only thing that doesn't, square in this peg, right? So you can see, I've been saying same, but different. August feels the same as July, but different this year. This upcoming fall feels the same as last year, but a little bit different, where we have more built up inventory going into fall. And this is why it's going to be interesting where we are in 2 weeks, because the question that everyone's looking for an answer to is, are we going to get that burst of new listing and no sales because the sentiment's really bad? Or are the sales going to balance out? We don't know, right? And I'm going to keep you posted, but I can tell you a couple of things from talking to a lot of people that I personally still think the good properties will sell, and they'll sell pretty quickly, because my gut feeling tells me that we're going to get a lot of tenanted properties go on the market right now as investors are taking chips off the table, or they're deleveraging and they're selling these properties with tenants inside. And I reckon we're going to get a lot of these type of listings in the condo market, but a good home that's empty and vacant that shows well, I bet you that's still going to move, right? Again, time will tell. Now, for me, when I look at all of this, right, the opportunity is for the first-time home buyer or someone who needs to occupy these homes that are trying to get into the market, because now you have negotiating power and you're also able to legally, the correct way, serve an eviction notice to the tenant of the tenanted property so that you can get it vacant possession, because you'll be moving in. And we've had clients in the summer that have taken advantage of this and gotten decent deals on properties because the seller has to sell. It doesn't show well, and the buyer has the ability to get them out. So, everything's working in their advantage, right? But obviously, watch out for interest rates. And obviously, you got to crunch your own numbers. But if you're looking to utilize this opportunity to find a deal for your first home, you can book a call with me using the link that is on the screen. It's www.chatwithzen.com. But we're gonna have to go through kind of like whether it makes sense or not, because you're still buying at a high interest rate right now at like the 6%. But if you're thinking you can get a deal and then you can restructure your deal a little bit later afterwards when the rates come down, call it in a year or two, then yeah, this may be an opportunity for you. Anyways, I hope this gives you an idea of what's going on in the market right now, and I will be providing more updates as to where the first few weeks of September are going and the last few weeks of September as well, as we kind of embark on this interesting yet same but different fall market. Until next time, your move, your future. See ya! Now that I'm done watching this video, I think you should check out this video. And you know what? Why don't you check out this video too?